Man, y'all really want to be oppressed so badly. Like, girl, I don't need to see that shit. I know it's a kink for you, but put that shit in bed, honey.
Here's why men think women aren't funny. Pretty sure these studies were only cis straight white people though, so here are your grains of salt. So
already with the racism. So what if I said that this study was made by black women? And I'm just gonna take it with a pinch of salt. I'm gonna take it with pillars of salt, actually.
The board, men and women said that it was important to them in a long-term relationship that their romantic partner have a good sense of humor. But when researchers asked what they meant by a good sense of humor, women defined it as a man who makes them laugh, whereas men defined it as a woman who laughs at their jokes. A separate study reiterated that men think it's more important that women laugh at the jokes that they make rather than women making jokes of their own.
Which is fine. Like, what's wrong with that? Men are biologically inclined to basically provide for their families. Because of this biological thing, because of genetics, men would also probably want a woman to laugh at their jokes too.
Okay, I'm here to clarify something. When I say this, I mean men usually want to go out and do work while wanting a woman to stay home and take care of the kids. This is the same thing as well. They would want to provide jokes to the woman, and then the woman would laugh.
This is not misogynistic. What is misogynistic is if we go off of this statistic and force women not to become comedians.
Separate study found that men value women who are pretty and unfunny as more desirable than equally pretty women who are funny. This can partly be attributed to the fact that we associate humor with intelligence, and this study found that men find women less attractive if they think that woman is smarter than they are.
But like I said, what's so wrong with that? That's not misogynistic. A relationship is entering into a contract. If a man doesn't find you hot and sexy because you're funny, then get over it. Get over it, honey. Get over it. It's that simple. It's really not rocket science. It's that simple. If he don't have a crush on you, leave him the fuck alone.
If this person has a preference for a woman who doesn't make jokes, but instead laughs at their jokes, then that's completely fine. Like, he's not gonna force women to not make jokes, because that would be misogynistic. Forcing women to not make jokes because they're women is misogynistic, but he's not forcing. He prefers women who don't make jokes. He prefers to be the one who makes the jokes. Nothing misogynistic, because preferences are inherently discriminatory.
I'm gonna explain something and I want y'all to listen up. When I was 4, I was trampled by a dog that was much bigger than me. And ever since then, I've had a fear of dogs. That was 14 years ago. And I've come across many, many sweet dogs. But still, anytime I see a dog, I get panicked. Now let's talk about bees. Lots of people are afraid of bees. That's a very common fear. And even if you haven't been stung by a bee, people are still scared of the idea of getting stung. And I first got stung by a bee when I was 7, but I was still scared of bees before that. But not all dogs are going to trample you, and not all bees are going to sting you. So if I make a statement like, dogs are scary, it's a given that not all dogs are scary. Do you see where I'm going with this? Chances of getting bit by a dog are 1 in 73. Chances of getting stung by a bee are 6 million to 1. Chances of getting raped? 1 in 5. If any woman makes a video about women's issues with men, don't you fucking dare say not all men. Those types of videos are meant to be educational and bring up issues that women go through. They're almost never meant as a personal attack to you. It's only an attack if you make it one.
Just to remind you, 1 in 4 men have been sexually assaulted.
No, you also need to clarify something when you say men, because men is general. When you say certain men, now you're being specific. So let's say for example I say women are sluts, then you start attacking me because not all women are sluts. So let's say for example I specify certain women are sluts. You're still gonna attack me anyways because I'm slut shaming. But what are the cases is that you see where the problem is. So these men are just defending themselves, okay? And you need to be specific, because if not, then I just think that you're a misandrist. So when I say 1 in 4 men are raped, it goes to show you that this is not the problem of men. It's the problem of bad men, okay? Which is very different. Problem of men means that men in general contribute to the issue. Bad men, when I say bad men, means that horrible men who think bad, who are just really fucked up in the brain to sexually assault someone is the problem here.
I specifically studied gender-based trauma, and I have 2 relevant degrees from Harvard on this. Let's talk about men who say not
That don't mean jack shit. That don't mean jack shit in this world anymore. People can get a degree in gender studies.
men. This behavior comes from 3 sources. First, this is a male pick-me behavior. Oh, I understand there are men out there who are acting in abusive ways, but I'm not one of them. I'm one of the good guys. That's a total delusion, by the way. In a patriarchy, everyone has internalized misogyny, sexism, and oppressive ways to treat women.
So do you have internalized misogyny? Ma'am, I'm so confused with what is this. I'm so confused. I'm disgusted at the fact that we're both wearing glasses right now. I can't take your ramen noodle arm seriously.
We all gotta unlearn patriarchal ways of behaving. Number 2,
What are these patriarchal ways?
to control women's voices. Notice how they are tone policing women far more than they are mad at those men who are abusing, harassing, and raping women. Who are
Oh, honey, we are not the ones who gave you a bad rap. Women are the ones who are giving themselves a bad rap by doing that Me Too movement. But the Me Too movement came out with genuine intentions. But then after that, we have people coming out. We have women coming out ruining men's lives. Literally, there's a hashtag in Believe All Women. Should we believe these women who lie? Because let's face it, men are going to rape. Okay, men are going to rape, and that's sad. Okay, and that's genuinely sad.
But now we're beginning to treat all men, even people who we're even men who we're even familiar with, as bad men. Men in the workplace are beginning to become scared of talking to women, because if not, the woman can say that she is going to be that she was sexually harassed by him. After that, is going to have his life ruined.
of a man a bad name? Number 3, male superiority complex. Does it relate to the male pick-me behavior? Oh, I understand there will be awful men out there like who will abuse and rape and harass you and oppress you, but I'm not one of them. If you depend on me to protect you from male violence, you'll be good. That instills in women a fear of independence, that the real solution to the male violence is another man.
Isn't that lovely though? Like, patriarchy using the patriarchy to defeat the patriarchy. Basically taking the hand of the patriarchy and slapping its face. Wouldn't that be lovely? Just destroy patriarchy by being within the patriarchy. That is awesome, right?
If she wants to be on her own, she can be on her own. That's completely fine by me. Self-defense, you don't need no man.
There is not a single man who actually believes in not all men, because they'll tell their sisters and mothers to be careful, and they'll obsess over controlling their wives and daughters because they know deep down they too assume that men are all the same. But to everybody else, it's not all men. So to those men, instead of trying to distance yourself from the problem because you can't get over your bruised male ego, realize that if you refuse to acknowledge the problem by derailing the conversation and invalidating women, you are just as bad.
Okay, first of all, I don't know what this bitch is talking about. Okay, so she's talking about men controlling their wives and daughters, which don't make sense. I mean, if you're talking about Saudi Arabia, sure, but we're talking about America here. Second of all, she talks about bruised male ego. It's not a male ego. It's men defending themselves from an accusation made against them by a woman. And when feminists, probably like her, come out and say all men in general are rapists, you can see that there's a problem. I can say that women are the ones that are derailing their own conversations by taking every allegation as real, like the Believe All Women hashtag. You do realize that women can lie, right? The Me Too movement has ruined countless men's lives. Okay, ruined the lives of many men.
In my last videos, I talked about addressing one of the main roots of rape, which would be teaching boys not to rape, as opposed to telling women to buy more and more things to protect themselves. There's actually a real-world example in Kenya. The program is called Your Moment of Truth, and it teaches boys 10 to 14 about consent, challenges rape myths, sex education, and how to intervene if they see a sexual assault happening. Examples of rape myths that they were challenging are that no means yes, and if she's wearing a short skirt, that means that she was asking for it. It was a 6-week course that took place for 2 hours every week, and according to research from Stanford University, the percentage of boys who would intervene when they witnessed a sexual assault rose from 26% to 74%. Boys were also found to be less likely to endorse rape myths, and the incidence of rape from boyfriends or friends had fallen. So teaching boys seems to have an impact instead of just shrugging and saying, well, boys will be boys.
Okay, I understand where she's coming from, but we're talking about America here. Now, in Kenya, of course, it's very different. No matter what you dress, you're not deserving of rape. But the problem is that when you let men with different beliefs than you, for example, Sweden, that's why Sweden is called or Malmo is called the rape capital of the world, because there's so many immigrants there that rape people. And these rapists have very different beliefs. They believe that women should deserve to be raped if they wear scantily clad clothing. So what does this tell you? It tells you that no matter what you say to them, they're not gonna change. The answer is to teach men not to rape, but also to teach women to defend themselves. Both can exist at the same time.
Here's me explaining why the argument saying men invented everything is stupid and shouldn't be said on International Women's Day. Men invented that phone you're on, that house you're living in, the app you're using. Did you watch the video, or men invented everything? Okay. Why? What? Tell me why men have invented most things. Because women are stupid.
Based.
Okay. Is it that, or is it the fact that we've been oppressed for centuries?
You have been emancipated for don't know how long. For like 60 years. Okay, maybe that's a little...
They weren't allowed to go to college until the 60s.
Until the 60s to get an education, which is like 60 years. 60 years have passed and you haven't invented shit. Okay, I was wrong. I found a history article talking about the 9 things that women invented. But I know that doesn't even come close to the number of things that men have invented. And only, I think 4 of those things were invented by women after the 1960s.
Well, that's still severely underrepresented in STEM majors where all the inventions are from.
Because women technically don't choose STEM. Women don't choose STEM. This is about equity now, that they want 50-50. They choose like those social ones like what? Psychology. There's a lot of women in psychology.
108 million people were killed in all the wars of the 20th century. As sad as this fact is, an even more sobering statistic is that more girls were killed in the last 50 years simply because they were girls than all the men who died in all the wars of the 20th century.
What? I'm sorry. Where did she pull this statistic from? Her asshole? Like, okay, honey. Okay, wait, hold on, bitch, hold on. I'm very confused. Wait. So, wait, hold on. So, 108 million people were killed in all the wars. So, as said, and even more so, okay, that more girls were killed in the last 50 years for being girls than they were killed in all the wars of the 20s. So, like what? So, 54 million? That's like 1 million every year. Where did she pull this from?
What's even worse though is more girls die in routine gendercide in any one decade than were slaughtered in all the gendercides of the 20th century. Over 18,400,000 people died in the Holocaust alone. I added up all the death counts of the genocides in the 20th century and it's over 22 million. Over 22 million girls died for just being girls in the span of 10 years in our world. This has to stop.
I'm so confused. What gendercide was there?
Okay, after reading some articles, I think I found it. There is a campaign in India called the 50 million missing campaign, which basically is campaigning for the for the stopping of the murder of women in the womb, family violence, killings, honor killings, you know all that type of stuff. Usually, which is very cultural to India. And they also say that in abortion clinics, out of every 8,000 babies, only one of those babies that were aborted were boys. So 7,999 aborted babies out of every 8,000 babies were girls. In China, there was also the one-child policy, which was successful in basically aborting a US population's worth of babies. Now, they also had selective abortions there, which skewed the numbers vastly. I think now there's like 20 million more males in China than females, and you know, these are the only things that I can think of. But the problem is that we're talking about a person who's doing this on TikTok, and TikTok's a very liberal place. So I don't know whether she's going to consider aborting female babies murdering or consider gendercide, but probably to fuel her argument she would. But she won't say it for boys because, you know, boys are literally the patriarchy. Probably in India it's still happening, but when we talk about America, I don't think it's happening anymore. But maybe she's talking about it in a global sense.
I'm going to start a new series talking about micro-sexist things that we've just normalized as okay and we usually don't really talk about. Let's talk about the sexualization and just the way that we even use the term girls with daddy issues. First of all, I have never heard of a guy who has daddy issues who is sexualized the same way that women are. The term daddy issues, like so many other social concepts, puts blame on little girls and not on adult males for failing their kids. A girl and women will walk around their whole lives with that label tied to their back, but a father who did something bad to them will exist as a father and nothing else. This concept also relies on the fact that women are completely broken and not senile without men in their lives.
Honey, in fact, that is the case. That you need a man in your life. I think there was one woman who had like a story of how, you know, she bought into the feminist agenda and decided that she could just work. You know, she was the type that you don't need no man. I think she called into Dennis Prager and she said that she bought into the feminist agenda. She didn't get married. She didn't have kids, and now that she's 50 years old, she is so alone. She's so alone. Like she's so alone. And I remember somewhere that said that the loneliest demographics are women with single women with an income of over $100,000, I think, a year or something like that. You definitely need a man in your life. Friends don't stay around for very long. Your family doesn't stay around for very long. Your family dies. Your family will just die one by one as you grow older, and your friends will have families of their own. They won't be able to come and be near you. So to think about it and say that you don't need no man in your life is actually quite terrible. You're setting these women up for loneliness in their life. Isn't calling someone with daddy issues like bad or something? Like, I feel it's more of a derogatory term, a pejorative, like for people who have bad relationships, bad friendships, trust issues, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. Like, I don't think this can all be attributed to the father, and her trying to rationalize it in her head is something bad, because this is like I said, derogatory term for women. It's derogatory. It's a bad term for women, and you're trying to work your way around it by it's like a black person trying to work his way around the word N-word, which they have all done, and I don't understand how that makes any sense. I never understood this about black people. You can call a white man can't call you the N-word, but a black man can call you the N-word if you're black. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
You know, I like how she's wearing a sweater with the words "hot mess" laterally inverted. Daddy issues, am I right? You know, it's very sad that her dad didn't teach her how to write properly. Too bad her mom was too much of a dumbass.
I think my favorite thing right now is watching men absolutely not be able to handle that bee society is matriarchal. Like, I saw this video from a beekeeper where she was explaining that male bees' only purpose in bee society is to mate with the queen so that they can reproduce. Like, they can't do anything else. So during the winter, the female bees don't have enough food and resources to support these freeloaders who can't do anything for themselves. And since they've already mated with the queen, they're just kind of thrown out into the cold to die. And this is not the only comment like this. but it absolutely killed me. Couldn't you start a male beachtuary and save them? Provide them nectar and some remedial tasks till they get back on their feet. Like, I don't know anything about this dude personally, but I just feel like in general, men feel more...
I'm sorry, wait, no, hold on, wait, no, you can't, no, you can't be serious. You cannot be fucking serious. Girl, it's clearly a joke! This bitch don't know satire. And no wonder why. Women are stupid. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I think I'm done for today. I'm not gonna finish this shit. Okay, I don't know what to say to her. The video's over. Fuck this shit.